En una pequeña estación de trenes perdida entre montañas, Mateo esperaba cada tarde el mismo tren. No viajaba a ningún lugar, simplemente observaba cómo las vidas se cruzaban por unos segundos. Un día, mientras el reloj marcaba las 5, una joven con una bufanda roja se sentó a su lado. Llevaba un cuaderno lleno de dibujos. Mateo, curioso, le preguntó qué dibujaba. Ella sonrió y respondió: historias que aún no existen. Durante semanas se encontraron en el mismo banco, a la misma hora. Él le contaba historias sobre los pasajeros y ella las convertía en ilustraciones. Pero un lunes, ella no llegó, ni el martes. Mateo siguió esperando hasta que un día el guardia le entregó un sobre. Dentro había un dibujo, un banco vacío y un reloj marcando las 5, con una frase: las mejores historias empiezan cuando alguien espera sin rendirse. Mateo guardó el dibujo, se levantó y tomó el siguiente tren. Era hora de escribir su propia historia. The rain hadn't stopped since midnight. Sheets of water poured down the quiet streets, turning the world outside into a watercolor blur. Inside a modest house, tucked behind a row of maple trees, the air was still. Adam Brooks, a 35-year-old maintenance worker, had just returned from his night shift. His badge was still clipped to his soaked jacket. He hung it by the door, careful not to drip water onto the mat. His boots thudded softly on the wooden floor as he moved through the house, his steps quiet and practiced. He paused by a small door, cracked just slightly open. Inside, his 6-year-old daughter, Sophie, slept soundly. A soft pink nightlight glowed beside her bed, casting warm shadows on the wall. He stood for a moment, listening to her slow, even breaths, a silent guardian in the dead of night. In the kitchen, Adam poured a mug of hot water and sat down at the worn wooden table. He flipped open a notebook filled with maintenance reports and pending tasks. His face showed exhaustion, but also a deep well of patience, an expression refined by years of solitude and responsibility. Then came the knock. A quick, sharp sound that broke the stillness. Adam looked up, frowning. He glanced at the clock. 2:17 a.m. Who could be out in this storm? He moved quietly toward the door, brushing aside the curtain just enough to peek through the side window. Under the porch light stood a young woman, soaked to the skin, her arms crossed tightly, head bowed against the wind. Long blonde hair clung to her face and neck. She didn't move, except to shiver. Adam unlocked the door but opened it only a crack. His hand remained on the latch, his voice steady. "What do you need?" The woman raised her head. Her face was pale. Her lips trembled, not just from the cold, but from something deeper. Panic, maybe shame. "I'm sorry," she said softly, almost too quietly to hear. "I didn't know where else to go. I lost my bag, my phone. I'm not trying to cause trouble. I just need somewhere safe until morning." Adam didn't answer right away. He glanced down the hallway. Sophie's door was still closed. The house was silent. He looked back at the woman. She didn't seem dangerous, just exhausted, drenched, and completely worn out. But there was something in her eyes, a kind of fragile dignity she was holding onto with the last of her strength. He made a decision. "I don't have much," he said. "But there's a couch, a clean blanket. It's warm." The woman hesitated for a fraction of a second. Rain lashed harder against the porch roof. Finally, she gave a faint nod. "Thank you." Adam opened the door wider. "Shoes off there. My daughter's asleep." She stepped inside slowly, dripping onto the mat, and kicked off her boots. She looked around the living room, simple, clean, lived in. A tiny pink backpack leaned against the couch. Children's books filled a small shelf. This was a home, not just a house. Adam handed her a towel. "Dry off. I'll get something warm." She murmured her thanks and patted her arms and hair, her fingers still trembling. Adam returned with a folded sweatshirt, a thick blanket, and a pillow. "I'm Adam," he said. "You can stay on the couch tonight." She took the items carefully. "Linda, thank you. You don't even know who I am." "I don't need to," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "No one should be standing in the rain at 2 in the morning." Linda blinked, her eyes shining with unshed tears, but she said nothing. Adam turned to go, but paused. He scribbled a short note and set it beside the steaming mug of water on the table. Then he disappeared down the hall. Linda stood still for a moment before settling onto the couch. The sweatshirt hung loosely but smelled of clean cotton. She wrapped herself in the thick, soft blanket, took a sip from the mug, and finally let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Then she saw the note. "Extra blankets in the left closet. Hot water is yours. Please keep quiet. My daughter's a light sleeper." She read it again and again. No questions, no judgment, just care, quiet, unspoken care. Her grip tightened around the warm mug. Her throat ached, not from fear, but from something much gentler. No one had looked at her like this in a long time, not as a problem to fix, not as a name on a list, not as a trophy to protect, just a person. "I forgot what this feels like," she whispered to the empty room. Outside, the rain continued to fall, but inside, Linda felt safe for the first time in days. She leaned back into the cushions as her eyes began to close. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but tonight, just tonight, she wasn't alone. And as he lay in his own bed, listening to the storm and the quiet